Good morning. How are we all doing? It's 11:59. It's still the morning. Shush. Leave it there. Let's move ahead. How are you all doing? Welcome to twitch.tv/icecreamuploads. My name is Graham Day. How the devil are you? I'm joined by the man that we call Bibi. All right, Bib.
Good morning, Graham. Good morning, chat. How we doing?
Hey, how was alcohol/golf/wedding/ all the things?
Mate, this weekend it's just been one big blur. Like Friday, it was our friends, two of them, but they were born a day apart, 30th birthdays. So it was like them were taking the piss out of me yesterday, and also on the day for having pina coladas in pineapples. Like, what's wrong with that? In my opinion, that's fucking great. And then yesterday was my best mate's. Sorry, not yesterday. Saturday was my best mate's wedding.
I didn't get married on Saturday, mate. You said this last week. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, so it was at the Midland, very, very posh, very, very nice. A lot of free beer. I genuinely spent more on non-alcoholic drinks than I did on alcoholic drinks, which is fantastic. But yeah, it was a wild weekend. So yesterday was kind of a bit of a mellow, chill out vibe. But yeah, enough about my alcohol-filled weekend. How about yours?
I don't think I had any alcohol. I think actually we had like one drink on Friday or Thursday. I can't remember. This thing with having Fridays off, my weekend just kind of like is longer than it's used to be. Than I'm used to it being. So it just kind of stretches out and throws everything like off to a killer. But yeah, nice chill weekend. Streamed some PUBG on Saturday. Got a haircut on Saturday as well. So yeah, nice. That was about it. I was streamed a little bit of late night PUBG yesterday. I say a little bit, I mean literally a little bit. 42 minutes. I think it's the shortest stream I've done ever, pretty much. Well, apart from when, my internet shits itself and I stream for like 2 minutes at a time and it comes back again and goes off again. Fuck's sake. But apart from that, yeah, nice. Actually, on that, speaking of which, I'm trying to tinker with things to see if there's ways that I can. I know it's Sky. I know it is, but I'm trying to see if there's ways that I can tinker with my setup to stop the internet dropping out. So how does it look right now? I usually stream at 6K bitrate, whereas I've just dropped it down to 5K. Does it still look like peachy and smooth? If it does, that sort of stuff may help. If Sky shits itself, OBS may just be able to keep it together. It's probably not. It's gonna go down. But just does it look okay? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Anyway, if anyone's
the preview.
Anyone's in the chat, how are we all doing? Spike! Hey! All right. Are you you're not working today? Are you working in a bit? It's nice to see you in. All right, love. Tito, Wagwan. Why will you never meet an ice cream workaholic, says Spike. Because they know how to chill out. Tito instantly with a red card. I'm kind of torn. If that didn't have ice cream in it, I'd probably be there with a red card too. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay. West, all right, with your love eggs. Nice. It's not that sort of stream, but thank you very much, mate. Vern, lurking, you take a seat. That's fine. If anyone else wants to drop into the stream, by the way, and just feels like, do you know what? I've got shit to do. I've got a meeting. I've got a conference call or whatever. Feel free to lurk. You don't have to get involved in the conversation. Anyone that just fires up the stream, and do you know what? Fire it up and wander into the next room. Then fire it up on the Xbox, on the TV, and then just load it up on your mobile. All of the lurks do help because every view is nice. Every view adds to our stats, which gives us more impressions and more exposure on Twitch, which helps the channel grow. So we appreciate anyone that does drop in, even if it's just to drop a lurk. Love you. Mr. Garlic Clark's in the chat, as is Magic Man, also taking a look. Nice. Morning, lads. Looks decent. Thank you very much. Looks good this end. Still 1080p. Nice. I mean, anywhere between 4.5K to 6K is usually good for 1080p. I've just dropped it from 6 to 5. That should still, in theory, not really impact the visual output at all that much. So hopefully it all still looks the same, and then we can see how we get on. But nice. Big up the lurkers. Massive big up to the lurkers. Absolutely. You're goddamn right. Also, big up to the
Voice mod massive. I saw Vern on Twitter this morning sharing him getting Daft Punk-esque. What was it? I think someone commented Daft Punk, whereas he said, look, Wayne. Lil Wayne.
but not in a deep voice. Anyway, good morning, everyone. How you doing? Mr. T's in the chat. Mr. Phelps, Hulkamania 78. Yes, gentlemen. I'll read. If you don't know what this show is, we are live on Twitch. It's not just your casual playthrough stream. This is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. My name is Weekday. This is Bib, and we are here to give you our thoughts and our impressions of the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. So if you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved. And it's important that you do that because we do go live on Twitch at 10 a.m. Ish. Each and every single weekday, 10 a.m. ish. It's now 4 minutes past 12. We went live at 11:59, so it's 10 a.m. ish. Anyway, we go live at 10 a.m. ish because we work in the video games industry, which is where the channel name comes from. We work for a company called Jelly. The streaming channel is called Ice Cream. Everyone likes jelly and ice cream, right? Yeah. Anyway, we go live at 10 a.m. ish. So if you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved because the live stream gets turned into a podcast, an audio podcast. No, a video podcast on YouTube and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved on behalf of everyone that watches and listens on demand, because your thoughts and impressions, you can put them in there on behalf of everyone else that's watching and listening on demand. Before we jump into the show, a little bit of a reminder that today is the loot drop draw day. Loot drop draw day. My God, I can't say that one. That's an Xbox boss. Loot drop draw day. Loot drop draw day. Nice. So we are giving away a prize, and today's prize will be possibly that, but not that one because that one's mine with my name on it. But that is the Ice Cream Uploads esports jersey. We did run a poll on social media last week asking what we should give away in this month's loot drop. So the prizes were a crate of Muscle Moose, some Ice Cream Uploads merch, or a copy of Alien Fireteam Elite. Is that what it's called?
That is correct.
Nice, nailed it. And even though the merch took a massive lead, it then started to level out. A bunch of other people got involved, cast their votes, and it did start to level out. The merch did still win, though. So we are giving away some Ice Cream Uploads merch. An item of your choice from the Ice Cream Uploads Gamers Apparel merch store. Today, one person will win that. And to be in a chance of winning that, all you need to do is be a sub. Well, that's not quite right. All you need to do is be a sub and be in Discord with your accounts linked. Those accounts are Twitch and Discord. If you don't have those accounts linked, that's something that you need to do. We can't do that or anything, because if you don't have those linked, you don't get access to the loot drop area on Discord, which means you don't get into the loot drop. And that's where we get all the names. That's where we pull the list of people that are involved, and we go from there. So if you're a sub, make sure your accounts are linked. Make sure you're in the Discord, and you could be bagging yourself a prize today. Fresh off the back of Chappers, actually, he bagged his last month. Hopefully his will be arriving in the next couple of weeks or so, and then we'll get another one in the wild a few weeks after that. Yeah.
Single-handedly keeping Gamers Apparel afloat.
God damn it, you know. Let me jump back up then. Brave Red Baller says, what y'all think the best game out right now? Fortnite? What? He means PUBG. It's a good question. It depends. What do you think is the best game out right now? It's the best, but is it the only? Good question. Horse riding simulator, says Garlic Clark. Tito says, what's 2 hours between friends? Graham, with timings like this, did you used to work on the railways? You goddamn right. I did the National Rail timing strategy, and it's been rolled out to every other form of public transport ever since. Yeah. Power Wash Simulator, says Magic Man. Okay, I need to know the best video game podcast, but it's only... Well, you listen to it. This is the UK's #1 video game podcast, according to myself and Bib. So there you go. Facts. Undeniable facts. So I didn't reply. I'm playing Grounded, totally hooked. And to answer your question, I'm off work sick. Boo. But also, infinite wins for playing Grounded. Yay. Video games make you feel better. Woo, woo, woo,
Absolutely
woo, woo.
not. Never grounded unless you turn off the... Is it arachnophobia?
Yeah,
Turn off that mode.
Turn them into little blob things.
Yeah. I went to my nan's yesterday and there was a spider that came into the front room. I swear to God, it was that fucking big. You could see the tattoos on its back. Like that. That spider had done a 2-stretch and got some prison tattoos. It was fucking massive.
Spike says, just killed 3 spiders. They are pussies. I can full on hear him shouting that. Yeah, what dickhead? But anyway, we are here to talk video games. We will talk video games. Oh, well, actually, in reality, we're going to be talking about the lack of video games for a little while longer, at least, anyway. You may have seen our lead story today is the fact that Horizon Forbidden West, one of the future big releases from PlayStation, has been delayed. We're not a stranger to the world of delays living in a COVID world, but it's another one bites the dust-ish. Another one bites the dust-ish. As Horizon Forbidden West is delayed until early 2022. But it's not the only one. As Esports Boxing Club, which is a game that we are pretty excited about here on Ice Cream Uploads, that has been delayed too, but it does have Tyson Fury. Elsewhere, we have some details on Halo Infinite's esports, and then we will wrap things up with yet another faux pas from Activision in what, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I can't even say it's like a bus. You wait for a fuck up and then 3 come along at once. This is well beyond 3 now. You wait for a fuck up and then Activision happens. So yeah, Activision is doing all the bits. But anyway, Bib, Horizon Forbidden West. Did you ever play Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, I didn't. I downloaded it. People told me to play it. It definitely looks like a biggie game. He's been dead about 23 years, but no, it's a biggie game. Yeah. But no, I haven't played it. It's one that I've always meant to get around to playing, and I just never have. The backlog is too big. I know it's Game of the Year, so yeah, I've just never got around to it.
Well, do you know what? You'll have a little bit more time. If you want to finish that before Horizon Forbidden West comes out, then it's good. It's fine. That's what they've done. They've done it on purpose to make sure that people like Bib, who haven't finished, I haven't finished it either. I've done about 2 hours. So yeah, people like us who haven't finished Horizon Zero Dawn have time to finish it before Forbidden. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. But I'll tell you what it actually is. Stephany at VG247 has the details. The story says Horizon Forbidden West delayed to early 2022. And this is a report. Sony is said to be delaying Horizon Forbidden West to early 2022, according to a report from Bloomberg. According to the report, Horizon Forbidden West will miss its proposed holiday 2021 release and instead arrive sometime in early 2022. If accurate, it wouldn't come as much of... Let me hit play on that. 22 minutes. Okay, let me skip forward a bit into it. Nice. If accurate, it wouldn't come as much of a surprise considering Guerrilla Games wasn't quite sure if the game would meet a 2021 release. Back in June, PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst said that while the game was on track for release this year around the holidays, that isn't quite certain yet. Quote, for Horizon, we think we're on track to release this holiday season, said Hulst, but that isn't quite certain yet, and we are working as hard as we can to confirm that to you as soon as we can. Sony has yet to make a statement regarding the report. As of press time, we will update this post with more information as it comes. So there you go. Horizon Forbidden West delayed. Horizon is forbidden for now. Any surprises, babe?
Over the last 18 months, nothing surprises me, but nothing more so than most AAA games or most games in general just becoming delayed because of the working from home conditions or access that they have maybe to the main server or the computers that the mids had. Everyone's had to adapt, and 9 times out of 10 they've overcome. It's come at a very small cost, which is a game being put back. This shouldn't be big news. It is what it is, and you are waiting for we're just adding more polish, which polish, as I mentioned last week, is just one of the biggest cover-ups that you're going to see in video games because polish could mean 1,001 different things. But ultimately, it means that they are looking at making everything look a little bit more prettier, eradicate some of the bugs that may be plaguing some of the playthroughs that people have had so far. Having the feedback from the journalists who have again played it so far, it's just an all-encompassing phrase, and yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to be any different. I mean, they're probably more pissed at the fact that they have to push it back because they are going to obviously miss the Christmas period this year, and then you've got early 2022, which it seems that there's a lot of games that are going to be coming out early 2022, so they're going to have to go up against something like that. I mean, it was in the chat last week, and Jordan mentioned about Halo potentially going to be coming up against. No, it wasn't Halo. It was something else that was going to be coming up against Call of Duty. They were waiting for Call of Duty to announce their date first, and then it could have actually been Halo. They were going to wait until Call of Duty have announced their
I think it
release
was
date,
because
so
we were
that-
talking about Battlefield and
Yeah.
COD coming out in that sort of time, and we were saying when does it actually get released, Halo? And it was like just 2021 or something like that. So yeah.
So they're going to wait for Call of Duty to make their first move, and then they'll just adapt around it. I mean, it's very good marketing. I mean, it's a little bit annoying that you haven't got a date set in stone as it stands now, but I mean, that's still 5 months away. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's probably more annoying for Horizon having to push it back until early next year rather than having the Christmas period where chances are there's going to be some more PlayStation 5s going to be out in the wild. Chances are it would have been bundled. There would have been Horizon bundles, maybe a double pack so you could play the old one and the new one together on double disc. And, all the things that usually come around the holiday period where you want a £400 console, and the next thing you know, you're spending 800 quid, and it's not from a scalper, but you've just got t-shirts, caps, key rings, and 3 controllers that you don't need. But it is what it is. They're doing it for a reason, and it's probably going to be a very good reason, albeit they haven't really give a reason. But we can all assume that it's because they just haven't managed to hit the kind of game that they want yet. And more power to them. We've seen many games, again, in the last 18 months that have come out that have probably needed a little bit more time. They haven't been given the other time because of all the backlash that they may have received, most notably Cyberpunk. And it got released anyway, and they are still trying to patch it now. So yeah, good on them. Good on them.
Just want to request that tweet there in the chat. If anyone could just drop some likes and retweets on that, just let other people know that we are live. That would be very nice. Appreciate you. You don't have to, but it just helps us spread the word. But jumping back through the comments, Bibi says not a surprise that the game is delayed, and Vernimator captures that pretty much nail on the head. To reference Journey, or to paraphrase Journey, it's just a small town dev. Living in a COVID world. I added the small town dev bit. It's not really small town dev. Guerrilla Games. They're pretty big.
Yeah. Guerrilla were just like, who the fuck is this guy?
But yeah, living in a COVID world. It's just, that we are living in a COVID world. Anyway, you get the idea. You get what we're saying. Gary then drops the tone. Do you know what? So far, I'm not even going to bend down to pick that one up. I can't believe they alloyed this release date to slip. Oh, no. Where is Tito? Tito, get the red card out. Get it out. A 2022 release isn't a huge surprise, to be honest, says Madge. Sad to see it's not on the near horizon. Maybe they're waiting until 2022, so they're going to release it on the Switch Pro 2. Halo was... Maybe. Halo was waiting for Battlefield and COD dates to announce their date. I've only just started my journey with Aloy, says Vern. 2022 release date will be great timing for me. Forbidden West won't be on my radar for years, as I'll be waiting for it for PC. To be fair, that could be within a 6 months thing, maybe. It'd be interesting to see. You might be right in terms of it could be years away, because if it does come first quarter, then it could come third, fourth quarter, or it could.
I can't see it being that soon.
Yeah,
minimum 12 months. I reckon.
But that's the thing, though. They've got Platinum Games already. They're already versed with porting those games, and Horizon is one that they've already done. So it could go either way. So I don't know. It could be they could do like a GTA where they release the game and then it comes to PC 6-ish months later, or they could just go, yeah, fuck it, we're not in a rush. We weren't in a rush the first time. We're not going to be in a rush the second time. That said, if you've got the hype from a console release and you've got all of the marketing and everything there, it kind of makes sense to I mean, if you're not going to do it at the same time, keep it fresh-ish. Wait until it's there and then build off the back of that. Be interesting to see how they go, because if they go within 6 months, PlayStation is serious about PC. If they go within after 12 months plus, then PlayStation likes to profit from PC but still doesn't see it as first party, if you know what I mean. I know it's not first party. Well, it technically is a first party, but you get what I'm saying. So
I thought they'd keep it as a timed exclusive, like an under the radar timed exclusive. Like they're not necessarily saying that it is a PlayStation only title, and then eventually, like Days Gone and Horizon Zero World, that it'll be coming to PC later on. I mean, I think the 12 months should be an absolute minimum for them to hold on to this as a PlayStation 5 only game, just to be able to try and sell more PlayStation 5s. Like, if soon as you start releasing it on PC, you're going to see the market share just kind of dwindle a little bit for it, because people are just picking it up PC. Like, Spike, I don't even think is even entertaining the fact of getting a PlayStation 5. I don't actually know if he's got one. I don't think he has, but I don't even think he would entertain about picking one up at this moment in time, because he's just hardcore into playing his PC. Like, why would he need to buy the same game twice just to be able to experience it elsewhere? So if you've got no interest in getting a home console and you're getting games like this be eventually coming over to your PC, I think probably for PlayStation's sake of things, it might just be worth waiting the 12 months, even though they probably won't announce it like that. I don't know. I mean, I think the same situation is going on with Final Fantasy at the moment. With the remake, I think that's coming out next year. It was kind of like a timed exclusive, but it wasn't. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I didn't read too much into it.
One of the things that you mentioned when you were talking through your reasonings was like they could have had a bundled version at Christmas or something like that. They could still be that next year, and maybe that could be part of it as well. The fact that, okay, do we rush it out when we don't really have the install base and we have to sell it across generations, or do we wait back and then release a brand new Horizon Zero Dawn? Even if it's not a Horizon Zero Dawn console, it might be like PES 2016 with a PS4, the Gareth Bale cover on the box art, but you still get the standard black PS4 inside it, kind of thing. They may do that sort of thing, but like you mentioned, whilst you were talking about that, I looked at what is coming out in the first quarter one, quarter two of next year. So it would have been a busy window this year, but there's no escaping it because of so much content that's rushed out for early life of next gen consoles and console that has been delayed already in the early life of next gen, current gen consoles. These are the kind of things that we have coming: A Plague Tale Requiem, Arc 2, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which is the new one from Ubisoft, the Callisto Protocol, which is the one from the PUBG universe, although there is no date or time on that, so that could go anywhere. Daymare 1994, Sandcastle. Obviously, we got the EA Sports PGA Tour game, quarter one, quarter two as well. Ghostwire Tokyo, quarter one, quarter two. Gotham Knights, quarter one, quarter two. The God of War game, quarter one, quarter two. Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West obviously is there now. This obviously you can tell I'm running through this alphabetically. Legend of Zelda, Breath of Wild
Pokemon,
sequel.
Arceus.
Yeah, that's January. So yeah, well, February is it? Maybe somewhere
early Feb.
Prince of Persia, Redfall, Resident Evil Reverse, which Bibby is super excited about. Sifu, which looks like a fucking class game, by the way.
Does.
Suicide Squad.
The most Shogun-ash game I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. 100%. But yeah, shitloads. That's only quarter one, quarter two next year. Naturally, some of the, there's a lot of the Rings Gollum game in there as well. There's tons more than I've read out. That's just me just picking out things that speak to me. So it's not like it's dropped. A Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, there you go. There's another big one there as well. So it's not as if it's dropped into a quieter window. It's dropped into an arguably a much more difficult window, potentially. This winter will be dominated by FPS, just because obviously the FPS games are every 12 months, and we've already had their first forays out into next gen. Well, we have from Warzone anyway, and Call of Duty. We haven't from Battlefield, so they will get their first next gen foray. So it will definitely be busy this time, and that's not an FPS game, so maybe it would have done better this time. But yeah, there you go. So it could drop next year. We could see some bundles with it, but it will be difficult whenever it drops. Still, right decision. Like Bibby says, if it's not ready, don't bother. We've seen polish being everything from actually I just need a little bit of quality of life improvements to, oh my god, the game doesn't work at all on console.
Aloy fires a bow, the game crashes. Okay, where do we go from this?
As you mentioned this, I'm just going to reach over and get Cyberpunk out of my drawer. Nice. Aloy fires a bow. Suddenly there is nothing for Aloy to fire the bow at, because in the E3 presentation there was animals trying to kill her. In reality, there's nothing else in the world, just Aloy. So yeah, nice. The real question is, says Tito, when is Raw Men out? Correct. That's the only question. It's not on this sheet, so I don't know. I see you laugh, G-Man. You can't hide it. I did not laugh. You cannot prove it. That's the issue of me. I'm not fighting for a PS5. It's too much effort. Sony's biggest issue is the chip crisis. If PS5 is readily available, I'd probably have one, especially with my 40th being this month. But you can't force people into going next gen because they don't have their hardware to sell to the demand. And that's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing. I was having a conversation in Hamish. So if you haven't seen Big Hamish 88, do feel free to check him out. He's streaming PUBG right now. Chatting to him this morning, and I did have contrasting opinions, because I said Horizon, he asked what the lead stories were, and I said that Horizon being delayed is one of them, and he says that's another like dropped ball for Sony. Another big game has gone missing, one of the launch kind of games, and I'm thinking it's just a delay. Arguably Xbox's whole gaming launch was delayed when Halo was delayed, but it hasn't damaged Xbox, and I think that's because of the next gen in general is struggling to get moving because of the chip crisis. There is not enough Xboxes to satisfy demand. There is not enough PlayStations to satisfy demand. And one of the next gen games being delayed doesn't necessarily, it's not a bad thing because people can just play the last gen games because that's what people are doing on Xbox. Like, what the counter argument is, yeah, but Xbox has got Game Pass, and it's like, yeah, what really new is coming on Game Pass then? You get you've some third party releases, but what's the first party stuff? There is none of it, so it's all last gen. So everyone is kind of in this whole strategy. Arguably, Xbox have done a very, 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 very better job, very much a better job in terms of keeping their marketing on top of it, whereas PlayStation have just gone, oh, look, there's a nice bit of sand, let's put our head in that until we get games. Ta-da! But yeah, a game being delayed is not a bad thing at all, particularly after 19 months of COVID world or whatever we're in right now. You know that we're living in a COVID. Okay, you get the idea. Yeah, so it's another delay. Take the time. It's fine. It's fine. And do you know what? Horizon Forbidden West is not the only game taking time. I'm going to use that as a little bit of a segue into our next article. Doesn't go very far, though. As mentioned previously, Yin-Poole at Eurogamer has this story. Impressive-looking Esports Boxing Club delayed. But it's got Tyson Fury. The tagline says, ring out. Esports Boxing Club ESBC is delayed. Its developers have announced. The impressive-looking boxing game, which we covered in March after its gameplay reveal trailer caught the eye, was set to launch in early access from this summer. I'm going to hit play on the trailer. I said trailer. It's the dev update, actually. Let me see if I can skip forward to some gameplay segments. This will now not happen, so it will not release in early access from this summer. In a new video below, Sheffield-based developer Steel City Interactive showed an updated look at gameplay running through its various mechanics, control system for evasion, combat, and combinations with all the dodging, weaving, blocking, and slips you'd expect from a boxing sim. Steel City Interactive founder Ash Habib said the company recently received additional investment, which means the team has more resources at its disposal. I suspect the overwhelmingly positive reception to that initial gameplay trailer, which has nearly 1 million views on YouTube, had a lot to do with that. Quote, because of the massive expansion of the game, the roster, and the expectations, we have to make sure we do justice to the names, Habib said, referencing the real-life boxers licensed for use in the game, such as Muhammad Ali. We can't rush something we know everyone is excited about, including us with our own high expectations, Habib continued. Quote, I realise some of you will be disappointed by that. We also realise it's been 10 years since the last licensed boxing game, which has been frustrating for those of us who love boxing. That's the primary reason this studio was created. What we cannot do and what we won't do is rush for short-term success. That's not the kind of studio we are. We want to do this right. This is why we're not going to announce a launch window. The next announcement on this topic will be a specific release date. The video ends with a new boxer reveal, Tyson Fury. We don't see Fury in gameplay, rather a snippet of his in-game model. For me, ESBC continues to look impressively realistic, but I'm mindful it's Steel City Interactive's first game and the developer is made up of just 19 people. Perhaps this recent investment will allow Habib to expand the studio whilst also expanding the game. So, interesting. First-time developer, only 19 members of staff, but something that has all of the boxing world. And when I say the boxing world, I don't just mean the hardcore boxing fans. I mean people like me who will say, oh, Anthony Joshua's on TV. Yeah, I'll watch it now. Yeah, nice, yeah. And then forget about boxing until the next big fight comes along again. It's getting everyone excited about it, and it has been delayed. Surely that's the right decision. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds really bad, this, but I still think, I don't know why there's still a part of me that thinks that this is just going to get cancelled. I don't know why. It's just everything points to the first game that they've ever done. They're using an engine that they're probably not too familiar with at the beginning. There was signing start. I genuinely thought at the beginning when they first started showing who said that they were going to be signing, I genuinely thought it was a joke. I thought this was an absolute blag, and I've got no other reason behind it other than I didn't know who they were. Who was it that's making this game? And they was pulling out names like Muhammad Ali, and obviously got Tyson Fury and the historical boxers. Is Rocky Balboa in it? Rocky Marciano in it?
I don't know. Do you know?
I'm sure Rocky Marciano is in it.
Whilst you keep talking, I'll find the list of.
Yeah. So the list is so long, Graham. Like I don't know how much money that they would have had in their pockets to be able to go and sign and get the likeness and get the license of these super mega boxing stars. Like, there's not just 4 or 5 of them and a lot of generic ones. These are well-renowned boxing
Okay,
superstars that
I've
they've
got the
managed to get into
list.
this game.
I'll bring it
Yeah.
on screen as well. This is the roster from the ESBC website. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Joe Lewis, Floyd Patterson, Jack Dempsey, Riddick Bowe, Larry Holmes, Jack Johnson, Canelo Alvarez, Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, Julio Cesar Chavez, Roy Jones Jr., Vasyl Lomachenko, Tim Bradley, Alexander Usyk, Juan Manuel Marquez, Badr Hari, I don't know that right, Terence Crawford, Claressa Shields, Katie Taylor, Amir Khan, Arturo Gatti, Sergey Kovalev, Cedric Doumbé, Kevin Kelly, Marcus Maidana, Vinny Pazienza, Sinicia Estrada, Chris Cyborg, Josh Taylor, Juan Francisco Estrada, Marco Antonio Barrera, Roman Gonzalez, Jessica McGaskill, Mickey Ward, Caleb Plant, Alexander Povetkin, Frank Bruno, Daniel Jacobs, Nigel Benn, oh my God, the list just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stop. You can see there is a lot of names, and like there might be a lot that you don't know, but there's so much in there. Like freaking Nigel Benn coming out of nowhere, Frank Bruno, and then you're getting fucking Povetkins and the Klitschkos and so
Yeah,
Ricky
like
Hatton.
Conor Benn's in it.
There you
So, like Vidal Riley, who was a KSI's boxing coach.
Johnny
like,
Nelson, who's always all over Sky right now because he's a commentator.
It's unbelievable. Like, this kind of roster, Ricky Hatton's in it, for fuck's sake. Like, these boxers that they are being shown in here, EA could never even dream of being able to pull like to their game. When Fight Night was in its absolute heyday, they couldn't pull a quarter of how many boxers are in this. They had a very, 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 very good roster, EA, at the time. But like Eddie Hall's in it. Wasn't he the world's strongest man? Was he a boxer? I don't know. I think I might have gone by the wayside. I don't know if that was just one of them that we'll stick him in because he's a big name kind of thing. But I didn't know he was a boxer. I thought he was a heavyweight weightlifter. Sorry, heavyweight lifter. What the fuck? But Eddie Hall is in boxing training now, right? Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry, thanks for saying that one, Spike. But the roster keeps on going. How have they managed to get the amount of money? Like, they must have what do you call it? Like a silent partner that has so much money. Maybe I don't know.
This is
got to have a silent.
This is where it starts to get interesting for me because I initially thought the same sort of thing. Okay, it's one of those games that promises. Oh, my mic's just fallen off the fucking desk. Great. It's one of those games that promises the world and could be shocking. Oh, this is not working. I need to put my mic arm back onto the desk. Oh. Okay, I'll keep talking.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'll keep talking.
Yeah.
So it could be one of those games that promises the world and then struggles to deliver, or one of those games that promises the world but never delivers and gets early investments and Kickstarter backers and things like that. We've seen plenty of games. Okay, that'll do for now. I'll fix it after the stream. We've seen plenty of games where people have taken audiences for a ride, taken their money and then disappeared. I genuinely thought this could have been it at first because it promised so much. So many big names, something that could rival Fight Night. Yeah, all right, of course. Never even heard of Steel City Interactive, and I'm from Yorkshire, interested in video games. So clearly Steel City, it's got to be a Sheffield thing. It turns out it was. Yeah, we'll see. Now I'm thinking, okay, does this have someone from the world of boxing involved in there? Like, could there be? I'm not saying Matchroom or anything like that because Matchroom have been looking for a boxing game. Boxing stars are looking for boxing games. That's the thing with boxing. There's not actually that much money in boxing. Once you've dropped out of the top, the upper echelons, people are struggling to make the kind of paper that you'd get in a football arena or any other global sports arena. Boxing, particularly in the UK, and maybe I'd assume globally, there's not that much money going around. The sponsorships quickly disappear. So I think getting low to mid-level boxers on board will be quite easy because that's a way for them to build their brand, get their face out there, get their name out there, get themselves in a game, get some revenue back off it. Okay, we'll sign up. And I don't doubt a lot of them will have probably signed up with the deal of, okay, we'll get a lump sum, but then we'll get a share of revenue or something going forward to increase their potential to push the game so that they can increase their potential to earn money back. I can see that, but like Bibby says, then when you start seeing the Tyson Furies and the Muhammad Alis and the Sugar Rays and stuff signing up to that game, these are brands and legacies that don't necessarily need to be tied in, so they have to have big cash. Oh, there you go. Ad says DAZN are involved. Mr. T says the big investor or partner is part of DAZN Boxing, hence the roster. Well, there you go. There you go. So they've clearly had shitloads of investment in that sort of sense. And part of me wonders is this a fake it till you make it sort of scenario? You talk the talk and you keep talking that talk. Whenever someone wants you to walk the walk, you go, yeah, I'm going to talk. I'm going to walk the walk. I'm just finishing the talk first. Let me just keep talking, keep bringing the money, Have we got enough money to walk? Yeah, we'll walk now. Okay, now we'll walk the walk. So if it is fake it till you make it, GG's, fair play. Because if they've faked it, and now they've got the money and the investment and the licenses and stuff, now they can pay to strengthen their team beyond 19 developers or whatever it is, or 19 in total. Fake it, as long as you make it. And that's what they're taking the time to do, which I am wholeheartedly on board for. Yes, please. I think everyone is.
Like I said, it's been 10 years since we've had a boxing game, and arguably, I think boxing has kind of had a resurgence in terms of the divisions. Like, we've had so many. This sounds so elitist, but I always feel like the heavyweight boxing is the be all and end all of boxing, and then everything else just filters down from there. And that is such an elitist comment, and I do apologize, but I'm not a huge, like, massive boxer fan. I don't know everything about boxing. I'm very much like you, big fight on. I enjoy watching boxing. I love the tactical side of it. It's not just throw jab. It's like,
no,
yeah,
that's not how you play boxing games. Guys. Boxing games is jab. Haymaker. Yeah. I'm tired. I've got no stamina. Hide in the corner. Jab. Haymaker again.
I don't need to. I don't need to sit here and educate you guys on how to play boxing. Do you know what I mean? But it's having the fighters, the boxers that are in this game. It just it wasn't that long ago that Eddie Hearn was like, yeah, we're looking at doing a boxing game, and everyone thought, oh, is he doing something with EA? I know how do you pronounce it? DAZN?
DAZN.
There you go, DAZN. Like, are they the only people that are looking after it? Or is there anybody else that's going to be involved with it? Or EA now? Are EA going to do the most EA thing that they could possibly do and go, actually, there is actually a market for a boxing game out there. Fight Night Round 5 is coming out.
I mean, they will do. That's it now. They will suddenly come back to life. Absolutely. The thing is like DAZN, whilst it might be a case of they actually have shitloads of money because all sorts of sports, not just boxing, football, and so on. They were the ones that were quick to throw the money out at the KSI Logan Paul sort of fights and stuff like that. So they are very happy to splash the cash on investment to get in on the ground floor. So I mean, nobody knows how deep those pockets are. They could be deep enough, let alone with anyone else. And well, you're going to need deep pockets. I mean, that roster. I mean, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 per line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then we get into the coming soon, 26, 27, 28, 29. So almost 30 rows of 6 people signed up or will be signed up with coming soons in there as well. Okay. That's a reasonable roster. That's almost like a fucking Football Manager size roster for a boxing game. What the fuck?
It's mental. I mean, just that top line alone there with the boxers that are there would have cost them millions. Like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, and Joe Louis. Like, those are the Pierre de Resistance of boxing elite. Obviously, they haven't been around for so long now, and the likes of Muhammad Ali is obviously dead. So I don't know how much his estate is probably worth at this point, but having those 6 boxers, just them alone, would have been enough to be able to sell the game. And then they've obviously got a women's division in here now as well, which is something that I don't ever remember seeing in any other fight night or any other boxing game. So that's just another thing of pushing the envelope. They've segmented them out as fighters, coaches, promoters, presenters, and cutmen. So it's not just the case of here's a boxing ring, here's an arena, have at it. This goes a lot deeper. Like, the cutmen is something that you could probably get in your career mode where you have to try and work your way towards the best. When you'll get enough money, then you can go and buy the best cut man around. Like the presenters, you'll be fighting in basements or at gyms somewhere, and then eventually you'll be able to go and buy a promoter that'll be able to get you into a bigger arena. Like, I think this will be so much deeper than what is on the surface that we haven't seen yet. So yeah, this is. I don't want to say it's the next big thing because it's from a studio that we haven't seen anything from yet. The graphics look great, the roster looks great, everything is in place for this to be a fantastic game. Have they got the formula right though? That's what it is.
We'll have to wait and see. That's the proof is in the pudding sort of thing. But I mean, everything is there. They have the ingredients. It's just whether the pudding tastes like ass. Because do you know what? Some people you can give them all the ingredients and they just can't cook up a good pudding. So we'll see. Jump back through the comments then. Where did we get to? A long way back. This is shaping up to be an amazing boxing game. I rate this delay. Guys who are in control of their own quality, says Vern. Spike says, all I can think is this going to be hyped to hell. It looks stunning, but I think once we get our hands on the game, it won't play the way we're expecting it to be. That's definitely a possibility, and that's the kind of thing. I mean, I think we all just wait for one person to try it. So I nominate Spike. Go on, Spike, spend your money. Do you know what? We'll do it in a giveaway. We'll have a loot drop, so one person can win Esports Boxing Club when it comes out. Just remind us close to the time. We'll give one copy away. That person can play it, and then let everyone else know if it's good or not. And then we could all go from there. We'll just use our wallets collectively. Tito says, I heard initially they were going to call this Fight Club, but unfortunately the first rule is you can't talk about it, so Marketing vetoed it. Nice. News just in, Messi is eFootball star. Ad says Steele could take all the time they need. Tito says, apparently Kane hasn't shown up for training today at Spurs. Could be awkward as rumours City won't bid if they sign Grealish. Eddie Hall is boxing trainer now. He's going to fight the Wall from Game of Thrones. The actual Wall? I mean, there was loads of them. Which one? That they need the new lightweight champion, Nottingham Man Lee Wood. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they get them. We've got Katie Taylor in there, and she's like still lighting things up right now as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get him in. I cried when Fury was announced. You're always crying, mate. God, mate. Zelda, floods of tears. Tyson Fury, floods of tears. Tyson Fury in Zelda, ads explodes. Honestly. Gameplay looks good. They'll be streaming this day one. My boy Nottingham Man Lee Wood is new lightweight champion. Vern says Sheffield is greater than Japan. Enix says Salford is greater than everywhere. To which Vern says, can't disagree with that, although stay away from the Odsal estate. Nothing wrong with Odsal. My daughter's school's in Odsal, mate. And my sister-in-law lives in Odsal as well, so it's fine. I mean, as long as you go around with a bulletproof vest, and it's fine. Especially watching the police shake kids. Okay, we've got a conversation about Odsal in the chat now. Where did we get to? Was over a tackle. Okay, never mind. They listen to the fans and have already made changes. I'll be streaming this day one. Nice. The only thing is, though, they listen to the fans and have already made changes. At this point, means nothing. This is the kind of conversation. I was having a conversation with, was it Tito? I think it was Tito and someone else the other day when we were looking at the FIFA stuff on stream. And the thing is, it's easy to give a pass here for Esports Boxing Club, but it could absolutely be a failure. I'm speaking about it positively because I, as with anything, have a positive outlook. I don't want to assume things are going to be shit. I want to assume this is going to be great. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. That said, just because you've got some positivity, don't hold things to task. Don't get too excited, but don't shit on it at the same time. This is a developer that's got 19 people in it. You can get, and no offense to mobile games, but you can get mobile games that have 2-3 times more times the size of their teams developing a mobile game that comes out and it's mediocre. This is for a next-gen experience. So, I mean, it could be crap. It could look great and the functions could be shit. There's all sorts of different ways that this could flop. So yeah, it could be good. But
I'm just trying to find the bit in the video now where it just blew my mind a little bit. For a little small indie studio, there was where is it? Is it towards the end before they do the Tyson Fury stuff? Yeah, it is. On the video, about 10 minutes in, is in one of the, what do you call it? It's like the booths that have all the 4K cameras to be able to capture all of your, what do you call that? The photorealism stuff.
Steve.
I can't remember what it's called.
Call it Steve.
The big Steve room, where it's just literally like a little cube, well, not even a cube, like a cylinder that has all the cameras around to be able to capture everything from everywhere, to get the photorealism within the game. Like, small studios don't usually have this type of technology, as far as I'm aware. So I'm very interested to see, like, Tyson Fury at the end looked great, and then some of the other boxes that we've seen modeled look absolutely fantastic. But some of the boxes that they can't do this with, with the likes of Muhammad Ali, I'm very interested to see their character models are going to look like in the game. Yeah, it's like mocap ads, yeah, but they're obviously not capping, they're not motion capturing anything. It's just them stood in the. It's what they did with Pez when they used to like take the big booths to like Arsenal, and they'd get in there and they'd like have from head to tippy toe. I have every single inch of them captured on a camera. I can't remember what it's called, and there's a term for it, and it's doing my fucking head in. But it's one of those things where they're just capturing every single element of them to be able to put that into the game, as to replicate their image as best as they can.
Yeah, but basically 3D body scanning, that sort of kind of element. Do
Yeah.
you know, this is the first time I've seen the Fury thing moving. This actually looks pretty decent. See, like the lighting looks good. The textures look good. I mean, his face could be. I mean, that's the thing for me. There was. Does anyone remember like PS2 era WWE games, and actually the same with the EA's Fight Nights and stuff? They realized that, okay, you can downscale quality on the bodies and the arenas and things like that as long as you make the face look good, because if the face looks good, that's where you convey the emotion, that's where you can show the impact of the fight with the cuts and the healing and using the cold bit to fucking take down swelling and stuff like that. The only bit that I find questionable about Esports Boxing Club so far is the faces look a bit lifeless. So whilst you can tell it's Tyson Fury, it's not necessarily like pristine. So if you look at like an NBA 2K, look at how good the faces look in there. And that was a thing with video games. If you go back 5 or 10 years, all games, be that EA, be that PES, be that NBA, whatever, it was almost kind of like the characters were dead behind the eyes. And you still get it in some instances now. But like, they clearly had time learning and how to, I don't know whether it was just eye direction, the way they designed or whatever. And I kind of feel like the faces in this, you feel like you're moving an avatar. You're not playing with LeBron James kind of thing. You're playing with a LeBron James avatar. So if they fix that, change that, and give the players a bit more life on the journey towards release, super excited. I mean, I'm already excited. This is me trying to be obviously balanced. Very excited with the way Esports Boxing Club looks. I am tempering my expectations because it's only a very small team that have never made a game before, let alone a game of this size, with a gaming genre that has a history and expectation that will have boomed over 10 years of no title. So yeah, we'll see.
We've come a long way from Prince Nazim and Knockout Kings to Fight Night Champion, which for me is probably the pinnacle of all boxing games. Like, the storyline was absolutely fantastic. The presentation, the atmosphere, the career mode, everything was so good in Fight Night Champion. It's a disgrace that we haven't seen one since, to be perfectly honest. Like, 10 years is a long time, especially, like I said before, with the resurgence of boxing and the heavyweight division as a whole. I hope that this captures it. I genuinely do, but I basically just wish them all the best, because the roster that they've got, can you really afford to fuck that up with the amount of money that's obviously been bought for the licenses? Yeah, I wish you all the best in getting this sorted out.
Ad says Big Fury's going to dominate, smashing dosses all over the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. All right, just get him a ring, mate. God, mate. Spike says this is the Konami in you. Faces. It's all about the fucking faces. It's not actually. Actually, that brings me on to my next point. Actually, I want to see how good the shoes look, the boots of the boxers in this. Do we have any updates on how those look? Banter.
Yeah. How are the ropes? Are they as good as the nets?
Yeah, give us the rope physics. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, all of that stuff could actually be shit as well. It could be exceptional. You never know. Fix the hair. I mean, no good boxers have hair anyway. God, I mean, Lennox Lewis did for a bit. Anyway, it's delayed, so it doesn't matter. Whatever's in it, you're not playing it right now. Esports Boxing Club has been delayed. No release dates, they have said, and they will not be releasing a release window either. They said that when they do get to a point where they know what they want to deliver, they will give us a release date. So that's nice. But it's not yet. So sit back and hold on for that. If you did miss the first story of the Horizon Forbidden West has also been delayed. That will be out sometime in early 2022. So we have a release window for that. We do not have a release window for Esports Boxing Club. But that's enough about delays. Let's go on to a game that's already had delays. Nice. So Halo Infinite. It has esports, and they will be cross-platform across both Xbox and PC. Compete no matter the platform or input choice. This is written by Scott Duwe at .esports. Or Duwe? Scotty D. Halo Infinite's Scotty D, that's the one. Halo Infinite's esports ecosystem will support cross-platform play for both Xbox and PC players. 343 Industries announced today. All of the game's online tournaments will be cross-play and cross-input, meaning players can either use a controller or a mouse and keyboard regardless of the platform they play on. If a player wants to plug in a controller into their PC or a keyboard into their Series X, it can be done. LAN tournaments will be interesting for one specific reason, however. 343 said players will be forced to play on either PC or console, depending on a number of certain scenarios that could take place at an in-person event. Quote, if you're a pro player that starts an event weekend from pool play where you compete on main stage and featured stations, you'll be playing on PC, 343 said. If you're a player competing in the open bracket, you'll be playing on the Xbox Series X. If you're a player that makes it out of the open bracket and into pool play and or championship bracket, you'll be transitioning to PC mid-event. Okay, that's instant yoiks for me, but this decision has been made because, quote, with billions of dollars on the line, that PC was the platform that's become the standard in esports, according to 343, and it's the better alternative compared to being played all on console or all on PC. For LAN events, HCS is partnering up with Esports Engine to help run the show. Halo Infinite is a game that is more open and accessible to players than any prior Halo game, and HCS is following suit, 343 said, with players competing on any platform, as well as controller or mouse and keyboard, until we force them onto mouse and keyboard. We're hoping to have a deep competitive scene with fresh blood entering the scene at launch and beyond. On top of that, we're working to ensure a better on-site event experience than ever before with our partners at Esports Engine. See, that had me, I'm not going to lie, I have an opinion formed already. That had me as a very good bit of news until one specific point. The fact that you can compete and progress through on controller and then will be forced to switch to mouse and keyboard is ridiculous, it's not for me. Toby! Thank you very much for the 4-month resub. Hey. All right, darling.
Shagger.
No, that had me. If you start a tournament on console and you're playing on controller, or playing on PC and you're playing on controller, you will instantly get slapped. So I'm okay with a controller. I'm not okay with a mouse and keyboard. I can do everything technically, but actually in a situation, no, I'm probably going to fat finger myself onto the prone button where in reality I'm trying to lob a nade at you. I'm laid down in the grass with my face on the floor. No, that's not really what we want, kind of thing. So they had me. It's good news. Cross-platform, competition, multi fucking devices. Yes, please. I will take all of that. But if you're going to have people competing with controllers to progress to the next step and then forcing them to switch to mouse and keyboard, you by definition are pretty much telling people that you do not want to start this competition with a console or a controller. You want to play with a mouse and keyboard, even if you're on console, mouse and keyboard, because you're gonna be forced to put the controller down. Anyway, that's my thoughts, my initial thoughts. What are your thoughts, Bibbs?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, as someone who's never competed at Halo, and I know Jordan is obviously someone who has, so you'll have a much better opinion on this than probably I will. But the only person that it seems to be benefiting as a whole on this is someone who's playing with controller, because they can just take the controller and play it on their PC. Like how they're going to be playing it, I think is probably going to be irrelevant if you're playing with a controller. But if you spend months qualifying and then with your keyboard, but it's like if you're going to a pro event, it doesn't matter if it's a football game, whether it's a first-person shooter game or something like Gears of War, people will take their own peripherals because there is no way someone is using a controller that's fresh out the box. How many times have we set up like PES events, like world finals, regional finals, and stuff like that, where millions of pounds are on the line, Graham, and you get that like PlayStation 4 out, pro model, stick it down, brand new out the box, sexy as fuck. The controllers are there, brand new, sexy as fuck, and then people just disregard them and bring their controller that's got a dodgy circle, the analog stick's all chewed up, it's fucked. So yeah, the triggers at the back are so loose, but it's their controller that they've been playing with for so long that a new controller just doesn't feel right to them. So if you're going to an event, you're taking your peripherals with you. So that's kind of irrelevant. So if you're playing with a controller, you're taking that with you. But the only person who's benefiting here is someone who's transferring their controller over to a console or PC. Like, we played in the Chickens for Charity, playing PUBG. You had a keyboard and mouse, you fucking hated it. You moved over to controller, you were ripping it up because what you're more comfortable with. You're comfortable with playing on a controller. Now, I don't know. Again, I'm not an esports pro in terms of Halo or any game, as a matter of fact. But is there not like an auto aim or some sort of snappy aim for any of them? Is there a slight benefit of using either or? Can you turn that off for esports stuff so it's full manual? I genuinely have no idea.
Just on
But
that,
as it stands,
just going to jump in because Jordan said exactly something on that. Huge complaints from the Master Chief Collection with control players having the aim assist and being better than keyboard and mouse, but keyboard and mouse has better movement options, and Infinite is very focused on the movement. It's incredible. I can't wait to get my hands on it. More possibly set some esports grassroots system if the UK in the UK if I can. Either way, it's great, especially for someone like me who works in esports. Given it gives our audience more options, but also allows for more people to compete.
exactly. So across the board, you sound if you're using a controller. What needs to happen is it needs to be default across everything. If you are going to be competing, it needs to be set to default. Everything needs to be full manual. Like, obviously, using a keyboard and mouse is the pinnacle of any first-person shooter games because the movement is so much better. If you're using a mouse and you're getting your crosshairs there, it seems so much easier to be able to move across. And that's someone who's a complete fucking noob who keyboard and mouse has grown on me in the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm quite comfortable and I played any FPS with it, not to a super high standard, but I'm comfortable at transitioning between both on the sticks and keyboard and mouse. But if your whole tournament or your whole pro career has been made on a keyboard and mouse, and you potentially don't have the opportunity to be able to get to you get to an event and you have to play on a PC, on a console, sorry, and there's no keyboard and mouse, are you at a massive disadvantage? I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I think I get where Jordan's coming from. Fixer, by the way, good morning. How's things? Good afternoon,
Hey,
even.
morning,
How's
sugar.
things? I'll read.
Yeah, 5-1.
Yeah, it's a little bit not morning. Okay. Yeah. Oh, once again, Toby, thank you very much for the sub. Perk360, thanks for the follow. Hyphen TV, thank you for the follow as well. I missed those ones. Thanks, boys. Or girls, people-ish. Thank you very much. Yeah, I like the inclusion. Jordan mentions how it's great as it gives audiences, more people, opportunities to compete. I love that. I love that. I just don't like the enforced transition at the finals. So if you've competed, you've gone through, I don't know, let's say you have local events, you love those, you're playing on Jordan's events down at Media City with his Xbox Series X controllers and stuff, and you smash it, you rip it up, you then think, okay, I'm getting a taste for this. You play a few more online, you maybe go to some satellite qualification event, I don't know, you qualify through that using your controller, you get to the main event and you're going through the open segments, maybe you're thinking, okay, that's it, I've got a spot in the open through one of these satellite events. You play through that on the controller, and then you sit down there with your Xbox Elite controller thinking, let's go, boys, let's go. I've come from just being some weapon from Odsel, and now I'm a man with a weapon on the main what? You want my controller? What have I got to do? What have I got to do with this? How do I use the clicker? Click. So it's that's where it loses me. I do not like it, and we've had these issues in the past with. I mean, there is no right and wrong answer, and I feel for the people at Xbox. I don't like the decision, but I also know that they've probably had tons of awkward conversations. We've had conversations in the past where we've had cross-platform games that have different progression routes. But then you want a World Finals. And obviously World Finals is how do you find the best player of a specific game? If that game is cross-platform, but isn't cross-platform, so if it plays on PlayStation and Xbox and PC and Switch and whatever, okay, when people get to the finals, you have to throw them into a pool somehow. But at least when we've done that, when we've done it with PES kind of thing, we've had to throw PC and Xbox into the PlayStation pool. That's the majority audience console, so that's where we're going to play it. It makes sense. It's not perfect, But that's the kind of the option. And then everyone, if you're playing on PC, you're playing with the controller, most likely. If you're playing on Xbox, you're playing with the controller. When you play on the PlayStation, it's the same mapping on the controller. So it kind of makes sense. It's fine. Whereas this is much, much different. You're not even holding something that is the same shape. I'm going from sat like this with my controller to mouse and keyboard. Like, I don't even know. So I'm good with a controller. I'm not world class, but I'm better than a lot of people. On a keyboard, I am functional. Like Bibby says, I can do what I need to do. I can move around, I can shoot, I can peek, and whatever. Trying to do it in quick succession, I don't have it as second nature. So
yeah,
I don't like the enforced change.
The only way it's going to be transparent is, I don't know if this is something that they've already tested, that you can play with keyboard and mouse on a console. That's the only way that this will, for me, be the fairest way, because the only of the this is Jordan's mentioned there. 90% of players who play on PC are controller for Halo. Might change with Infinite, but they might be banking on the majority of controller players making it to the finals. You can't bank on something like that. It seems too big of a gamble, because it's going to be bad press if someone from keyboard gets there. They take the keyboard and mouse with them. They can't fucking use it, or they'll use it for one round out of potentially 5 when they have to move on to back onto PC, then play 4 rounds onto the Xbox. Like, it doesn't seem fair. But yeah, hopefully it's something that hasn't been tested, or we've even talked about, because we don't know. If you could plug a keyboard and mouse into your console, because I think that's the easiest and fairest way for them to be able to do that, if it's possible. I mean, know.
The stat that Jordan's thrown out as well, 90% of players who play on PC are controller for Halo. I don't know if that's you actually quoting a stat or just one of those verbal stats that you share, obviously, to stress the point. Like I'll say, there's 1 million players when clearly there's like 12, but you get what I'm saying. So I don't know either way, but let's say whichever way it is, 90% of players play on PC are on controller for Halo. Well, those 90% of players are going to be made to switch to mouse and keyboard. So surely, if 90% of PC players are controller anyway, surely it would be in the best interests to make sure that you. I mean, if console players are going to be controller, 90% of PC players are controller. Why are they not forcing everyone to go controller at the end? Or why not have it, if you can play online and you can qualify online, you can do all these other things using mouse and keyboard or controller, what does it matter what you use on the main stage? Why is it fine through qualification until the main stage? They say this decision has been made because, quote, with millions of dollars on the line, PC was the platform that's become the standard in esports. But PC has become the standard in esports, but mouse and keyboard and controller has become the standard in Halo esports. Baby Cat's absolutely wanting to get out. just that lingering.
You can see her on the floor now.
Yeah.
I've just been stroking her hair. But yeah, I'm gonna go let her out.
Let me out! I'm trapped. Let's go to Big Bib. Let's see the cat escape. Hey, bye, cat. I'm not quoting it, just from my observation. Yeah, I thought it might be. But yeah, if the majority of players are using mouse and are using controller, then why are you forcing people to use mouse and keyboard? Because of a perceived awareness in esports and PC esports. That sounds like it's an audience acquisition move. Oh shit, we need lots of people to play this game. Everyone that watches esports online watches PC esports like League of Legends and StarCraft, and so we need to make everyone play a mouse and keyboard so that the PC players will come in. PC players know what it is. They're not going to go, oh, they're using mouse and keyboard, this is the one for me. They'll know that as soon as this tournament ends, everyone's going to go back to be playing on their consoles and stuff anyway. Audiences aren't daft, and this is one of those stupid marketing esports decisions. Shit, we need to get the PC audiences because that's where there's revenue. Do we make a PC only league? No, we'll have everyone in, but we'll only play the visible bits on PC. So the majority of games are going to be on console. Yeah. And you want the people to play the game and stick around after the event. Yeah, because they've seen people once play on PC. It's not what the event is. It's not what the system is. People will realise that they're playing against controller, and people are, do you know, I don't want that. Even Call of Duty communities have shitloads of infighting between controller and aim assist and so on and so on. Just, if your controller and your mouse and keyboards are good enough to compete, then let them compete. If not, don't force people to change, because it's not the same as changing from an Xbox controller to a PlayStation controller, which is difficult enough. As Bibby said, people don't want to use a DualSense 4 controller, a DualShock 4 controller for a PS4, when they have their own DualShock 4 controller, because they know, like, the sensors in each stick could be marginal differences in terms of how far you move it, how fast you go, and stuff like that. Players have got used to using their own controllers, so people don't want to use from one DualShock 4 to another DualShock 4. It's hard enough to get them to go from a DualShock 4 to an Xbox controller, but jumping from a DualShock 4 or an Xbox controller to a mouse and keyboard is a completely different. That's like saying, okay, you play basketball, you know what it's like to play with something that's round and ball. Like, yeah, you get involved in the foosball, yeah. I mean, Kobe Bryant's probably not going to beat Ronaldo in a one-on-one, not on a football pitch. It's just the way it is. It's a different game. So I like the fact that they are going cross-market. That end bit, though, is just. I feel there's got to be someone in either Microsoft or Halo's team that is their esports guy, and he's been pressured into it by branding, by marketing, by partnerships, by sponsorships, whatever it is. He's going, you're going to piss everyone off. People don't want to play on controller and then jump over to mouse and keyboard. So the best players at mouse and keyboard will want to stay on mouse and keyboard. They won't want to go, okay, well, I'm not going to qualify through the mouse and keyboard route, so I'm going to start playing controller, and then I'll jump back over to mouse and keyboard at the end. It doesn't work in that sort of sense. It does if you've got a game that doesn't have a massive audience. It doesn't if you've got a game that's Halo, which is the biggest game that Xbox has to offer. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm not quoting... Oh, that will be... mobile will be football stable. Halo will die without its esports scene. Now COD has moved to PC. It's the only premium FPS console event style. They opened up to increase the player base. MCC went mental when it moved to PC. Player base grew like crazy. I mean, I hope it does. I genuinely hope this is everything Halo fans want it to be. That decision, though, is a dodgy one for me. I'm not sure about it. Anyway, speaking about dodgy decisions, we've got one more story, and it's exactly that. As mentioned earlier on the stream, we will finish up with a recap of how Activision is getting on in its own little attempt to set itself on fire. Well, this is the latest. RHIANNON Bevan at The Gamer says Activision Blizzard's Fran Townsend is blocking employees on Twitter. So after sharing a tweet about the problem with whistleblowing, Townsend is apparently blocking employees who criticise her. Fran Townsend, Bush administration alumni and Activision Blizzard's current chief compliance officer, has been one of the many executives at the heart of the ongoing discrimination allegations. While not named in the initial lawsuit, Townsend was thrust into the spotlight when an internal email leaked revealing that she called the allegations distorted and untrue. Now Townsend has come under fire once again. Yesterday, the Activision Blizzard exec shared an article with the caption, "The problem with whistleblowing," which many interpreted to be a remark on the investigation within her company. Adding to the controversy, many who are critical of the tweet appear to be getting blocked by Townsend, including her own employees. This comes from Jason Schreier, who was the first to report on the Activision Blizzard lawsuit. Commenting on the response to Townsend's tweet, Schreier claims that, quote, multiple Activision Blizzard employees say Townsend has blocked them on Twitter for responding. He goes on to elaborate, quote, an executive level manager blocking her employees is one I haven't seen before. This follows Townsend's response to the investigation into sexism and abuse in Activision Blizzard, which many saw as dismissive. In the email sent to employees, she said, "We cannot let egregious actions of others and a truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit damage our culture of respect and equal opportunity for all employees. We aspire in our company to do great things in our games, in our impact on society, and in our work environment." Townsend has been a controversial figure within the company since she started in January of this year. Having previously worked as Homeland Security Advisor for former President George Bush, she has defended the administration's use of so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, such as waterboarding, widely classified as torture, on prisoners. In 2009, she spoke out against the Obama administration declassifying documents on the use of waterboarding, saying that those carrying it out should not be subjected to public humiliation or even a congressional hearing. End of story. So, Fran Townsend, a spokesperson-ish, from Activision, a company that's already under fire for not looking after its employees. Fran Townsend, a senior executive at that company, is blocking, ignoring employees. Nice. Great steps. Bib, what are your thoughts?
She knows exactly what she's doing. I'd like to say she's not a fucking idiot, but clearly she is. Yeah, she knows exactly what she's doing. All of this, there is no way she's had her head in the sand for the last 2 weeks. Obviously, it's gone on a hell of a lot longer than that, but it's only... don't want to say come to light in the last 2 weeks, but it's the allegations and everything that's been put forward has been ramping up in the last 2 weeks. She knows what she's doing. She's not a fucking idiot. And she's just trying to again, it's like pulling the pin on a grenade in the same room with no windows or doors. Do you know what I mean? It's just bad news. You know, it's ridiculous. I can't believe that she would tweet something like that. Amongst everything that's going on, but yeah, it's dumb. It's very, very dumb. Blocking your own employers as well. Like they had the walkouts last week, and I said that obviously everyone who took part in that, fantastic. You show it. You're doing the right thing, and the people who are left at the desks are just still part of the problem. And she would have definitely still sat at desk. She doesn't care. This shows that she doesn't care. It's like what you're doing may be right, but here's a bigger problem, and it almost comes across as a threat. Do you know what I mean? It almost feels like a threat. Like you carry on pushing it, and this is what's going to happen, kind of thing. Like this will have bigger consequences for you because you are whistleblowing. Like it feels like a threat, and I don't think that's going to go down well. But the only person that has her and the other people's problems back is the people who are part of the problem. It never usually works out well for them. They just end up resigning. They have hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds in their bank account. They won't care about this. They'll just leave. And then that's somebody else's problem then. And someone else will have to come in and pick up the pieces from what these people are doing. But yeah, it feels like a threatening statement more than anything else. Especially because she didn't elaborate on anything. She just added two other people. And then the article with the problem with whistleblowing, it doesn't look great at all.
Yeah, sharing an article on the problem with whistleblowing, the new moral code of America's elite. Basically, she's essentially saying she's questioning the moral code of people that are whistleblowing. People are whistleblowing because they are living in horrendous situations that they can't get rectified due to the systemic and institutional prejudices that are against them. Okay, your management teams above you do not allow you any avenue to expand beyond that. Your human resources team do not listen to them. People are having to take steps because the steps that you have put in place are purely there to trap them in the system that you want. Whistleblowing is there because your systems aren't good enough. So what she's doing is questioning their moral code because they want sexual and racial equality. The fuck? And it absolutely, I mean, this is someone that absolutely is fully on board for torture. So yeah, it probably is a threat. So fuck. It's just so questionable. So bad. I mean, I can't see this person being here. If Activision really care about their employees, their public image, and all of the rest, I can't see this person being here for the long haul. The only thing that makes me say not is intrinsically the entire problem. The reason the employees couldn't speak up was because the people above them, their managers and their managers' managers, were all this frat boy bro code mentality where they'd have each other's backs no matter what, even if they were shit or being shits. And they were being shits, but they had this bro code mentality. They could do what they want. And that was because they had someone above them, someone with power, having their backs. What has more power than someone that used to be a government administrator, like working with presidential campaigns? She will have so much political power and sway that she will be hard to shift. If she doesn't go, that shows you that the problem is there. If she stays there after all of this, so many stupid directions, comments and decisions being made from someone at director level, essentially. If she's that far up and is being able to have this level of political sway and then doesn't get any comeuppance, then it shows you that the problem is much bigger and goes up much further than people thought. And it's such a shit situation. Such a shit situation. Yes, mate. Such a shit situation. There we go. Just back, her initial message was that I'm fine now, so can you not be? Exactly. So how can you not be? I'm fine. I'm a woman. I'm okay. You're also an exec, mate. You are above the level of shit. Welcome to high-level execs. It's the same mostly everywhere. They only want to cover their own backs and bonuses at the expense of terrorising their employees. Spike says, nothing wrong with a bit of torture. I've been supporting Bristol City for 35 years. To be fair, being former Homeland Security crosser and you'll probably disappear. Exactly. That's it. I mean, George Bush campaign, she was in presidential campaigns. Even if she's not in there now, you know people, and people know people. If you're involved with fucking terrorism. What's the word they're looking for? Basically, what you can and can't do. What is terrorism and what is not? What is torture and what is not? If you're involved in sorting out the legislation for all that sort of shit, you're pretty well connected. So she's kind of going to be untouchable. And if she doesn't go anywhere now, then it shows that she's untouchable. So you can't do anything with her, which is pretty ironic because that's what the whole problem is around. Employees with their superiors that are untouchable. But anyway, there you go. That's the Activision Blizzard update. It's still a shit show, confirmed. Quick recap on the stories that we spoke about earlier on today. Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed, as has Esports Boxing Club. Forbidden West until early 2022. Esports Boxing Club indefinitely until they're comfortable to release a release date. Halo Infinite Esports is going cross-platform, cross-play. You can play on PC and Xbox until you get to the main stages. Then it's PC only, whether you use a controller or not. Fuck you, we don't care. And Activision Blizzard, well, fuck you, they don't care, is the gist of it. Fran Townsend has shared articles detailing the problems with whistleblowing after whistleblowing puts her company rightfully in the spotlight. Go figure, go figure. But that is that. Thank you everyone for joining us in the stream. T-Dot says they doubled down, they tripled down, now they're quadrupling down. They need to start digging up before they kill themselves. I mean, they want to come out at the other end. That's what it is. It's like full on going out. They'll be in like North Australia in a few days' time if they keep digging that fast. But yeah, we are done. I'm going to jump off. We might be back. Are you playing any games? I might have stuff to be doing, so I don't know if I'm on for games today, but are you playing any games, babe?
I will let everyone know via social media.
Nice.
I'm gonna go get some dinner first because I've not had anything to eat yet, so I'm gonna go sort that out first. I'm fucking starving.
Well, do you know what? After Baby's had some food, if you feel like joining for some games and stuff, then feel free to jump in. We might be back. The best way you can find out is to use the social links and stuff that are all in the chat. Speaking of using those social links and stuff in the chat, Mr. Bib, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for this Monday, well, the first episode of The Scoop this week. We very much appreciate it. But if you want to help shape our show, there is two ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. If you are watching this on any of our on-demand services, just go into the description below. You'll find all the links to our social media and Discord underneath there. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Tomorrow, we will be live at 10 a.m.
Ish.
10 a.m.
Kind of. We'll aim for 10 a.m., but it's Tuesday. You know, we were live at 11:59 today, so I expect it about 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. It's Tuesday. It's just the way it goes. It's what happens when you're busy in the world of video games. But we will potentially be back with some video games. And I say we, it could be us, but it could just be Bibi. Or it could be neither. You will find out soon. Best way to get notified is to follow us here on Twitch. You will get notification every time we do go live. Quick reminders again. Shout out to Tub Jizzle for the 4-month resub. Perk360 for the follow. -TV for the follow. And everyone that's just been in the stream, lurked, and got involved in the conversation. I love you. You're very nice. Yeah. Speaking of dinner, leftover Sunday roast lamb and chips for me, says Iceman.
Great style.
Fuck you. But yeah, have yourselves a good day. Until next time, stay
frosty.